Hey guys, welcome to the team call. We do this call every Tuesday night, sometimes at 8 o'clock, sometimes at 8:30, sometimes at 8:36 like we're doing right now. Hope you guys had a good week. It's a lot going on this month with Beachbody. They just launched Unstress, which I was in the test group for. That's cool. It's different. I've never been much of a meditation guy, but check it out. And then the running program's coming out soon. But tonight we've got Ashley Howard who's going to be speaking with us tonight. And I got her stats here, so much of it. So pardon me if I have to read this. But so Ashley is a 5-star diamond in her first CBC and 2-star in her second. She's Premier 2020, locked in Premier 2021, going to make elite happen. How's it? Yeah, we're looking for that other diamond. Okay. Success Club 10 All-Stars, 71 months in a row, guys. 71 months in a row of Success Club 10. 74 months in Success Club overall. Full-time since 2015. Retired her husband in 2015. Debt-free except for the house, which now we just got into a new house. So, that's cool. And, that's the cool thing about Beachbody and being full-time is all you got to do is have a Wi-Fi connection, really, and you can work wherever you want, live wherever you want. And so anyway, I'm not going to preach about anything else. I'm going to take over or hand it over to Ashley. I got my notes ready, and we're recording for everybody else. Let me make sure. Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you very much, Ashley. And I'm going to mute myself, so take it away. Let me make you a co-host because you're going to share screen, right? Or you got some slides, you said?
Yes. Yeah, I have slides because my squirrel brain, it helps me stay organized.
No, I gotcha. Slides are good.
So,
all right,
thank
so
you.
You're co-host. So.
Okay, yeah, I should be able to share. I'm just gonna, before I share, I just want to thank you, Chris, so much for having me on. I am like a grandma, so this is past my bedtime, but I'm like so excited to speak. I feel like Chris has been around forever. I'm sure you guys are so grateful for his leadership. And for me, like, he's someone that I've heard of in the business and I've looked up to. So to be able to speak on his call is just super exciting. So yes, I am really excited to talk to you tonight. I think the biggest thing is hopefully you can relate to somewhat of my story. I know for me, I've been a coach for a long time too. And when I would hear trainings, what I used to do in the past is stop everything and be like, oh my gosh, I have to change 100 things. I'm doing it all wrong. So I want to preface everything I say tonight by maybe you just take a piece of it and maybe it hits you later on, or maybe you do decide, you know what, I'm really going to start implementing a couple action steps. But what I don't want you to do is be like, oh my gosh, I have to, just because Ashley does it this way, now I have to stop and redo everything and do it her way. No, we can all grow in this business. And that's really what I had to learn when I would listen to people that were giving trainings, because I thought, if I'm not doing it this way, I'm not going to succeed. And what I have come to learn, especially in these last 9 months, is you have to do it your way. Well, I think there are obviously non-negotiables in this business, and that's what I'm going to talk about, is keeping things simple to be able to achieve your non-negotiables. Just understand that if it's not broken for you, don't fix it. But if something's not working for you, that's a little trigger to be like, okay, I'm not going to do the definition of insanity and do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. So maybe there is something I can plug in. So I'd just like to share that because I know that was a weakness of mine. I would actually get off of trainings like motivated, but also really overwhelmed, and then thinking I had to do a million things. So I don't know how long everyone has been a coach. I'm actually going to ask that in my slide just because I like to know. But maybe you're new, maybe you've been around forever like me. But really, I think we can all learn from each other and support each other. So I'm excited to share with you tonight a couple things. I just have some slides. I hope they're not too boring, but that does help keep me on track. I don't want to talk for too long. I love answering questions or getting feedback. So I try not to check the chat too much because I'll get thrown off while I'm going through this. But please drop any questions or any takeaways or anything that you would like to address. And as soon as I'm done with my slides, happy to answer questions. All right, are you ready? I'm going to share. Hopefully this all works. Okay. So can you guys just give me like a thumbs up if you can see my slides? Okay, I see a thumbs up. So keep it simple and have an abundance mindset. I'm not going to share anything tonight that hopefully is like a total new secret that you haven't heard of yet in this business, but what I really hope to bring is just repetition and then affirmations for you. Like, you already have everything you need. Again, I don't know your stats. I don't know how long you've been around, but I do know that I have experienced major growth this year after being stuck for 3 years at the same rank. So if you can relate to that, if you can relate to feeling stuck, if you can relate to feeling like, when is it going to happen for me, then I hope I can give you some inspiration as well. But to get to know a little bit about me, I am a wife, I'm a mom of that sassy little 3-year-old girl, and I'll probably be out of breath mostly through this call because I am pregnant, and we're expecting our first son and probably last child in January. So very excited, and very much looking forward to not being pregnant anymore. So I'm just not someone who loves being pregnant. I'm ready to have our baby. Current 5-star diamond, we are actually 6-star qualifying. We have 1.5 weeks to go in 6-star qualifying, which is super exciting. 2-star in my second CBC. Hopefully gonna pop another diamond there, so 3 stars soon. And then my third CBC, which Chris was kind enough to help me strategically place that, has 6 coaches. So my goal is by the end of the month to get that to diamond as soon as humanly possible too. 2020 Premier Team, we actually just got the call that we are 2021 Elite, officially unofficial, because I think they do the official announcements in January, but we have achieved Elite, which is awesome. My team has done so much, and I really understand what people say when they say it's your team, right? Like, yeah, it is me. I do work hard, pat myself on the back, great. I couldn't be Elite without my team. And I know that I have a lot of coaches, but my 10 percenters are the ones that have really locked in and run with me. And I am just really so grateful for them. And now I want them to see the success that I've been able to see as a coach. I am an SC10 All-Star Legend, full-time since May of 2015. I say I retired my husband, which is true, but he actually was let go of his career job that he went to college for 7 years for in the golf industry 6 months after I went full-time at coaching. And it was a blessing in disguise because we didn't see each other ever, and he was stressed and not making much money. But when he was let go in December of 2015, we looked at our finances. And, you know, the best moment was when we're like, we're okay. Like, my business is sustaining us. We are okay. And since December, of course, income disclaimer, Beachbody can't guarantee any level of success or income. He has not had to go back to a full-time job. His passion is woodworking, so he builds furniture. He stays home with us. He watches our daughter most of the morning, so I can get a lot of coach work done. He's the best dad ever. And I think that I'm just really grateful for the life that we have created. Debt-free since 2019 is when I paid off my student loan debt. Thought I was going to die with that. And I love craft beer, which I sadly cannot have right now. And Chick-fil-A, like, I'm a normal person. I'm not super on point with eating all the time. I do love to exercise, and I just think I've finally found my moderation that works for me. So what I want to jump into is abundance mindset, you guys. This is so important because, as you know, mindset is everything in this business. And I will be bold and say that morning routine is also everything. Unless you work nights, maybe your morning routine is the evening. But you need to give some time to yourself to fuel your mind and your body before you jump into your business. And I just really think that's so important. I always tell my team, personal development before you open social media. Like, obviously we have the Unstress app now, which is awesome, the meditation. But one thing that I recommend is you own your day before it owns you. So when I started getting really clear on my morning routine, I really started focusing on what can I control before I open up any devices. I can control my workout. I can control watching a training while I work out. I kind of multitask there. That's the one thing I actually do multitask. I meditate. I actually have meditated since before Unstress came out, and now I'm loving it. And I write down what I'm grateful for. And so many times I hear my newer coaches or my coaches who are like, man, I'm just feeling in a funk. And I'm like, what's your routine? Like, what's your first hour of the day look like? And for them, one of my new coaches, she's like, well, I wake up and I pick up my phone. I'm like, whoa. Don't do that. So for me, again, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But I really do believe that the first thoughts we put into our head in the day do set the tone for the type of day that we have. So imagine if you're rolling out of bed and you pick up your phone and you click on your messenger and you see, no thanks. Actually, can I be honest with you? Like, whatever you see those couple messages. That's going to set a trigger in your mind that, like, oh no, something's going wrong. This person's saying no, this person's backing out. Whereas if you would wake up and give the first moments of your day to yourself, right? To set your intentions, to decide what your goals for the day are, to fuel your mind. And maybe you also build in the time to fuel your body with a workout. And then you pick up your social media. Well, I can tell you that my confidence has grown so much as a coach doing that, because I know that other people don't control my day. And I know that I can't control others, but I can control my routine and I can control my thoughts. You attract hardworking people, right? So wherever you are in this business, if you're frustrated that coaches don't want to work their business, if you have customers who don't seem to stay on for longer than 30 days, it's a mindset shift of, yes, we are not going to be able to help everyone. But you know what? You attract hardworking people because that's the vibe that you're putting out there. And when I started telling myself that, like, of course people want to work this business. Of course people want to run with me. Of course customers want to stay on longer than 30 days. Why wouldn't they? I still have people fall off. You know, I don't have an amazing 100% retention, but I also know that these are the people that I'm going to be attracting. And it actually gets really exciting for me to think, like, who's going to come into my life today that's ready? Who's going to be that person that comes out of the woodwork? Who's going to be that coach that takes the first step in starting their journey, or that just hits the ground running? Because that can happen. I'm excited. And so it's not a matter of pulling people along. It's, here's where I'm going. I want to see who's going to come with me. And understand that there are millions upon millions of people that need our help. You know, the market is not saturated. There are not too many Beachbody coaches, because you are you for a very unique reason. And your journey is going to attract a certain person who needs you. They don't need my story. They need your story. So continue to show up. There are so many things happening behind the scenes, and so many people are like just about there to join you. But if we stop, we will never know. So just keep going and doing the things. I know this is not glamorous to say, but discipline will give you freedom in this business. And sometimes, like today, I'll be honest, I felt in a funk. I'm like, did I even do anything? I got 2 people telling me they're feeling really down and I'm feeling down, and I took a nap. But I understand that we all have ups and down days, but I will always fall back on my systems, which is my discipline. And I know that as long as I keep showing up and believing that I'm doing the things that build me forward, I know that I'm going to keep reaching my goals. And it's okay to not love what I do every single minute of the day, but I can love why I do it. So what I shared tonight in my post may be the tipping point for someone to reach out to me or respond to me tomorrow. So always, always keep that in mind. It is always worth showing up and doing the work for your business. And your belief will drive the bus. That will give you evidence. The hard work will give you the evidence that you're going to succeed in the business. The belief will give you the validation. You can't sit back and wait for your upline to validate you, or to be on the national wake-up call, or to have Carl Deichler call you and say, you can do this. It took me 2 years to even call myself a coach, you guys. And those accolades are cool and exciting, but I was a discount coach for 18 months. Because I didn't know what I was doing. I never hit Success Club in those 18 months. I wouldn't even call myself a coach when people asked what I did. But I started believing I could, especially after attending my first summit. And I started acting as if I was the coach I'd want to have. So just know, no matter what, again, it's never too late. Your ship has not sailed. You're here tonight hearing this story or listening to this recording for a reason, and understand that your time is going to come if your belief and your effort matches what you do every single day. Okay, so I will look at this later because I don't want to minimize everything, but if you could just drop in the chat how long you've been a coach, I would love to know after the end of the call, just to know what I'm working with. Me, next month will be 8 years, which is so crazy. But again, never hit Success Club until 2 years into my business in 2014. So your start date and your actual business start date can be very different. For me, it certainly was. So I'm just curious to know, are we working with newer coaches or coaches that have been around for a while? Regardless, I'm going to look at that after. But for my newer coaches, it's all about our hot market. So I like to say, like, just how to keep our pipeline full. It's the people you know. Right? And I've been a coach for 8 years, and I know a lot of people like solely run their businesses on Instagram, and that's awesome. I still use Facebook and Instagram. Like, I am not one or the other. I am both. So I'm here to tell you that whatever social media platforms you use, if they're working for you, keep doing it. But I would say, why would you not use both platforms? Because it's more people that you can potentially reach. And my message, I don't care if the people from high school read it, just like a random person on Instagram reads it, because I want to get my story out there to help other people. And the one thing that's really helped me lately is it's not so much about growth, in my opinion. There were times in my business when I was mass following people on Instagram, all about the numbers. It was all about get more people. And what I realized was, yeah, it's important. We need to grow our market. We can't just like put our feet up and be like, I'm going to work with the same 200 people on my Facebook list. But a lot of times we have so many people that are already connected to us that we just need to engage rather than focus on massive growth. Because again, if you picture like a proverbial dinner table, help the people that are already at your table. They've accepted your friend request or they've followed you back on Instagram. And that's one step, whether they've been your friend for years or they just recently accepted. But what I have my coaches do is dig in to the people that are already connected to you. And I'll go through that in a second of how we do that without being random and weird. But just understand, like, there is a place for growing your network, in my opinion, but number one should always be engaged with your network and must be setting goals. I highly recommend, I have the Rise Up Planner. Moira Kusaba created it. I have to rewrite my weekly goals, my monthly goals, my yearly goals every week. I have to revisit them. I read my vision for my life and my family every morning, and putting that stuff into my mind on a weekly, daily basis has been huge. I set goals every month that scare me, and I don't hit a lot of them, but I get a lot closer had I not set those goals. And I think sometimes we're so afraid to say, oh my gosh, I want to hit SC20, or, I want to be a 2-star diamond coach, or whatever it may be. We're afraid to say that because we're like, what if it doesn't happen? Well, it's never going to happen if you don't talk about it. You got to talk about it and put it out there and know that your work is getting you in that direction. It's not going to necessarily be the exact timeline we think it is. But if that's our goal and we're going for it, we're going to get so much closer than if we just never set a goal at all. We have to be setting goals and revisiting that. If you came to my house before we moved, or even now, we have little Post-it notes, mostly in our room and in my bathroom, about my big goals. And I wake up and I roll over each morning and I see those big goals that some are terrifying to me, but they're in my consciousness every day. So like, to know what I used to set in January, that was a pipe dream for me, having achieved most of those goals by September this year shows me how much the power of visualization really, really happens in our life. So I saw that big goal. I went to work every day and hustled for it. And then every day I was reminded, this is why you're working so hard. This is why you're working so hard. Keep going through all the ups and downs. You guys, yeah, we're a 6-star diamond qualifying team. I had a diamond coach quit in June and try to take some of my team to her competing company. Like, stuff has happened, right? It hasn't been this amazing upward journey, but I trusted the process. And first off, I know karma's real, and there's a story behind that. Maybe we'll have time for it, maybe not. But I just kept my blinders on and did the work and know that I can't control everything, but again, I can control me. So I'm really about keeping things simple. This is what I do. I mean, if you followed me around for a day, and again, most of you may not be full-time coaches, but I was doing systems when I was working other jobs before I could leave my jobs to coach. You will fall to the level of your systems. So what I mean by that is the systems you have in place are your disciplines. You probably don't need anyone to tell you to go work out or drink your Shakeology or do personal development, because it's a system. What I want you to take away from this call is have the same systems to your business, so you're just going to get this stuff done. And you're going to trust the process, and you're going to know that every day that you put in the work is going to compound over time and bring you momentum. So every morning after my morning routine, I work my business for an hour in our power hour. And I look at who liked my post the night before, because I typically post in the evenings, who watched my stories in like the middle of the day, or who's watching most of them. I message them. If I have connected with someone in the past, my next message to them is going to be inviting them. And I invite so genuinely that it doesn't sound weird to me at all. And I share this with my team. If they've watched my stories, they're going to see me work out. So I'm going to say, hey, I don't know if you saw all the details in my stories, but I just didn't want to drop the ball and not invite you, because this community has changed so much for me. We just launched our recent virtual fit club. Would you be interested in learning more about it? And when I word it that way, it is true, because I don't want to drop the ball. I don't know if they have a fitness routine or a health routine, but I want to extend a hand and invite them. And same thing with my posts. I'm not posting health and fitness stuff every day, but if they're liking my stuff and supporting my journey, I'm going to say, hey, listen, no idea if you've got a fitness routine. I just didn't want to drop the ball and not let you know about this. X, Y, and Z, whatever it is, right? And obviously next week I'm going to really amp it up for 30-day breakaway. But right now we've still got our September goals, and I'm telling my team 30-day breakaway is awesome. It doesn't launch in September. We are in September. So you need to be planning for that. But we also need to help people this month as we end the month strong. Birthdays. I sent every single person on Facebook a personal birthday message saying happy birthday. And if I feel weird sending them a message, I'm going to go unfriend them because they're not someone I'm going to talk to. So why are they on my social media? New friends and new followers. So I'm still 8 years in growing my Facebook market, growing my Instagram account. I got an Instagram the day I signed up to be a coach. So like I didn't have a big following before. I wasn't this social media guru person. I just did things every day to grow my business. And it's so boring when I say it, but like that's what success is. It truly is the compound effect of doing the things most of the time, no matter what mood that we're in. And I'll tell you, I work very hard Monday through Friday and usually Saturdays. Sundays are the main day that I don't do much at all in my business. But it's okay because I'm working hard most of the time, that I'm letting myself have more unplugged time. And just a side note, I don't have any notifications on at all on my phone. I've gotten really clear about that. There was a time in my business when I was on point all the time. I'd hear a ding, I'd see a light up, my face would be in my phone. I was miserable, and that was not sustainable. And so I decided years ago that I wasn't going to run my business that way. The only thing that comes through to my phone is text messages. And some of my team doesn't even have my number. Like I'm like, if you want to talk to me, message me on Facebook and I will get back to you. But I'm so clear about that because I'm not going to have a business that I feel like I'm married to when I decide when I work my business. And same thing when I have coaches on my team that work full-time jobs, have 4 kids, have a million things going on. And I tell them the same thing I'll tell you is do not let your social media run you, right? And if I could come to your houses, the one thing I would do is shut off your notifications because you get to decide when you're going to work your business. And I don't know about you, but I cannot multitask messaging someone and do anything else. So when I sit down to work my business, usually on my computer, it's my uninterrupted time. When I'm done, I close it and I'm done. And yeah, I come back to it hours later and I work again. But that has been really peaceful for me. And at some point, you guys, I'm sure you all know this, you'll see the same people watching your stories, the same people liking your posts, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, how do I reach new people? Because the same people like it. Well, that's called the algorithm. And that's what happens because Facebook and Instagram sees who likes your stuff and they show your stuff to those people over and over again. So we decided as a team to beat the algorithm. And what that means is, as much as we talk about, again, engage with your network, yes, grow your network, but engage. So number one, the first hour of my day is diving into my inbox. That's where my messages and my business grows. But what I'm going to do later on in the day is engage. So I'm going to go to my Facebook. You can categorize your Facebook friends alphabetically if you look at it from your phone. And I'm going to start going down. I'm going to pick a letter of the alphabet and look at A's, and I'm going to take about 20 to 30 minutes and go to people's pages that have that letter, like first or last name. Like some of their photos, if they're posting, and you guys, if they haven't posted in 2 years, I'm just going to remove them as a friend because they're not active. And if it feels appropriate, if I've talked to someone before, I'm also going to send them a message. And I'm going to say, hey, like I saw you on my newsfeed. I wanted to say, hi, how have you been? Not for an ulterior motive to invite them, but to bring them into my network and into my world. And again, this is so easy because you don't have to message everyone, but the more that you engage on people's photos and comment, well, the more they might look at your stuff and now they come into your world and they're seeing your posts and your stories. And the exact same thing can be done on Instagram. What I personally do is go to who I'm following, like not my followers, but who I'm following. And you may know this, but you can sort by the earliest people that you started following. So what I have found was when I've done most of my power hour in the morning, my afternoon is more about engaging. So I'm looking at the people that I followed from years ago up until, recently. And again, one, if they haven't posted on Instagram in like over 6 months, I just unfollow them because they're not using that platform anymore, and that's okay. But if they are, I'm liking and commenting on their recent photos. And on Instagram, I'm usually messaging them, because if I hadn't messaged someone on Instagram ever and I'm following them, I want to message them. I want to say, hey, I meant to message you like months ago when we first connected, but thank you so much for following my journey. I love your page, and I'm going to connect with them. That's what I personally do. And I have noticed that I don't run out of people to talk to. I don't run out of people to invite, because that's a part of my daily business behavior. So again, I do my engaging after my most income producing activities of the day. And for me, that's responding to unread messages, messaging/inviting when appropriate those who have liked my post, watched my stories from the night before, and my scheduled follow-ups of customers and checking with my coaches and all that. But later on, more of the fluff stuff in my day is the engaging part. And that part's kind of fun for me because it's just intentionally scrolling, right? Not mindlessly scrolling, we're intentionally scrolling. And it's all about being social on social media. You guys, if you watch the Social Dilemma documentary, it's kind of terrifying, but social media was built to be a place where we share our lives. So be social. The more we can like and comment on people's posts as we are doing our mindful scrolling, the better. The more that someone comments on your posts, comment back to every single comment. Facebook and Instagram likes to see interaction. And that is what being social means. So for a lot of times, my newer coaches say like, a little, I'm worried about what people think, and I don't know if I want to put myself out there, and what if I share this stuff? And I always make a joke that if someone didn't want to see your life, they would be living in a van down by the river with no Wi-Fi or internet or social media. They're on social media because they want to see what you're doing. So we are simply sharing our lives, and we're connecting with people. And that's the cool part about this business. Like, we obviously get to regulate, don't have to share every single detail of our life, but it's showing up and it's connecting with people as other humans. Network growth, you guys. Again, I don't ignore this. We need to grow our network. I just focus much more on engagement first, because I can tell you I still have not run out of people in my current market to re-engage with, right? So after engagement is finished, obviously Facebook is very easy. Mutual friends. I'm not a big Facebook groups user outside of like my groups for my business, but if you're involved in Facebook groups, if you're involved, mutual friends, whatever, that's a great way to grow your market on Facebook. Instagram, I found more people follow me back if I go to one of the people that I'm already following, like someone I know, not like a blogger or something, who's not with Beachbody, and I look at their followers, because they will see when I go to follow this person, they're going to see that we have a mutual follower in common. So I typically do that. It's almost like my warm market growth for Instagram. And I don't recommend mass following. I mean, that's just me. Maybe if it works for you, awesome. But I don't mass follow. I do follow new accounts. I just don't do it on like a huge scale. And I do use the app Followers Plus. I think I paid $2 for it. So whoever I follow throughout the week, I use the app Followers Plus on the weekends, and I unfollow whoever didn't follow me back. And that's just so I'm not following a ton of people that don't return the follow, because then there's no point to see that number go up if they're not following me back too. What I used to do years ago, and I still recommend this, I think it's worth trying out, is on Facebook, I would do a challenger of the week. And with their permission, I would either post their transformation photos or just a photo of them and a little bit about their story. And then I would tag them with their permission, a challenger, not a coach. But everyone who liked it, I would start friending the people who liked the post that were not already my friends, because it goes on that person's page as well. And that worked really well, especially as I was a newer diamond, 1-star diamond. I would do this weekly, and I would reach new people very organically on Facebook. Okay, I think this is my last one. So let's talk numbers. Everyone's like, what do I do? But like, what do I actually do? And I can't tell you numbers because I don't know your goals. But I will say that if you would start 20 new conversations or connections, let's call it, a day, 5 days a week, you would be having 100 new points of contact with people a week. You would be having, whatever that math is, it's late, I don't know, tons of conversations with people in a month's time. And if we think about Success Club, right? 3 people. 3 people is Success Club. So if you are having all these things and you're being intentional, now don't talk about someone's dog for 30 days and wonder why you're not at Success Club, but be so intentional in your stories and in your underlying theme of your posts that it makes sense for you to be like, listen, by the way, don't know if you saw this over on my stories, but I'm really excited for this and I didn't want to drop the ball. Would you want to learn more about it? Right? Because that'll happen if you're having those conversations with people and they're watching you. And like I said, here, invites come from those who are supporting me, with whom I've started a connection with. Now, I don't invite someone the very first time that we connect, right? Like I want to talk to them for a minute and basically thank them for following my journey or liking my posts or whatever it is. That does not mean I'm still having like a pie in the sky conversation a week later. If they're still watching my stuff 2 days later, I come back with that invite in a very genuine way. And of course I have to follow up sometimes a million times. And of course, most people don't join me the first time I ask them, but I'm putting people into my flywheel, right? And when that flywheel starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger, you do not hold your breath for anyone to sign up. It's cool when they do, but you have so many other things in the works that the emotional investment in that one person you thought was going to sign up on Friday and they didn't, because hands up if that has happened, literally happens to me every month. It doesn't matter that much. You can bless and release and know that they will join you probably down the road, but you have these people coming in every day, every week, every month that are your prospects. And it's just not scary or stressful. But again, you guys, you have to kind of hold up a mirror and be like, okay, I want this. So you need to be inviting every day. Right? And maybe not the very first time you're implementing this stuff, but like the sooner you have more conversations and the more you can look at your social media and say, do people know I'm on a health journey? Would they know this? You're cool to invite, right? Because you have to invite and you can't be afraid of that. Just do it in a way that you would want to be invited. Some people are like, no, invite me right away. I wouldn't want to be invited like that. I'd want you to acknowledge me. And if I'm still watching you, then I would want to be invited in a very just natural way. So that's what I do. And as far as the business opportunity, I always tell my team, don't be overwhelmed. Are you ready for this? I invite one person a day. That is my minimum. Some days it's more, some days it's less. Very rarely happens on the weekends, but Monday through Friday, my goal is do not let your head hit the pillow until you have invited or re-invited, because most people, it takes 5 to 8 points of contact before they ever make a decision. And asking to start a business is a big ask, right? At least one person to the opportunity, not for a discount, for the opportunity. And a lot of times that comes from new customers or discount coaches that I've signed up that I'm like, hey, you've got a business right here. I don't have a lot of success signing people to the business that were not Beachbody customers first. It has happened. But a lot of times my goal is I support the heck out of my challengers. For the first couple weeks, I am in their inbox every day. And maybe that's excessive, but I used to not do that. And I would have people fall off. And I'm like, what's the point of signing people up if they're not getting results? So my goal is I add them to my group. I send them an email and I'm like, by the way, we're going to talk here at least every day for a week or two to help you with that habit. We're also going to check into the group, but behind the scenes, you and I are going to chat. And that has made a huge, huge difference. Okay, this is my last slide. Just remember that you already have everything you need to succeed. If you keep showing up and doing the work, like the girl that brought me into this business is a great friend of mine. I have always been further along in my business, right? Like she was a discount coach when I came on. I didn't need to come into a 15-star diamond coach to help me believe and have the tools that I needed. It took me a little longer, but I learned it. So one thing that I want you to know is you've already got everything and you've got a great upline. That's awesome. But the reality is you don't need anyone except you and your own belief and work ethic. And you will grow into the person that can reach big goals. In January, I was not someone that could have led a 6-star diamond qualifying team. In September, I became that person over 9 months. And I will tell you to work with the working, you guys. If you have the same person telling you they want to be diamond for 2 years, that's awesome. Support them. But please don't keep giving them your one-to-one time all the time in Zooms or whatever. Like, support the heck out of them, but watch what they do, right? I had 2 coaches sign up in July that went diamond in 5 weeks to help us with this goal. I've had a coach that wants to be diamond for 4 years and she's not there. So it just tells you I'm not frustrated with her, but like she doesn't want it as badly, and that's okay. All I can do is lead by example, check in with her, support her, and then also give more of my time to those 2 coaches that went diamond in 5 weeks and want to be 1-star diamond. Like that's where I need to be pouring into one-to-one mentorship right now. Protect your mindset like you protect your family. It is so easy how one off comment or negative thought or whatever can just be a downhill spiral in your whole day. And then you turn around to go to sleep at night and you're like, what did I even do for my business? I'm not a good coach. I'm not going to hit success. But like so much of that is so easily a downhill spiral. So instead, we're all human. We're going to have those thoughts, but don't linger there. Understand what fires you up. For me, it's listening to trainings. It's working out. That's why I start my day with that, and I protect my mindset around that. And of course, things happen in my day that throw me off. I was funky today, but I'm also pregnant and tired, and I have really bad acid reflux. So sometimes I just have a weird day, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean I stop and I degrade myself as a coach. It means I'm a human being, and I'm going to get back on track. And this life is very short. I would encourage you, if you haven't yet, to write down a vision that you have for your family, for your life. Like allow yourself to say the things that you've never said, because we don't know the last day that we have, right? And the one thing that I never want is to look back on my life and be filled with regret of what if I was braver? What if I had more confidence? What if I actually went for it? Because I came from a single parent household, very paycheck to paycheck. Money was so scarce. And that was how I grew up. For 20 years, I had that mindset of money is not enough. It's never going to be around. It's the reason we can't do things. And I finally broke out of that in the decade of this business that I've really poured into personal development. And what I found is our past does not have to define our future. Maybe you had a very different childhood than I did, but wherever we are right now, like we are writing our story from today, not from childhood and birth. Like we can decide the type of person we want to be, and we can decide the type of example we set, because really this whole thing that fires me up is it's cool to reach goals, and I'm excited, and I do believe we're going to go very far as a team. But I look at my daughter, I look at my future son, and I want to set a legacy for them. I want them to know that no matter what, they can work hard and become the person that can achieve big goals. And the way they get there is by showing up, falling on your face, and doing it over again. And that's all I have. So I really hope that was helpful, you guys. If you guys have any questions, I'll check the chat now. Oh, you guys have been around for a long time, like me. Okay. And then Lauren's a brand new coach. Awesome. Okay. Do you guys have anything else?
Yeah. So you know what? I love PD before SM. It almost sounds
Sounds kind of weird.
dirty. but so I always like to ask people, what is it that you're reading right now? What is it that you tell your people, this is what I need you to be reading or listening to?
Yeah, what I'm reading right now, I would not recommend for everyone. I'm reading Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone. And he's great, but he's a freaking bulldog, and I think he would honestly scare some people.
Right.
Some people need that, and that's good for me, because I just have to understand it's okay to want to work hard. Like I love this business, and I really could work at it 24 hours a day. I won't, right. But it just reminds me that like it's okay to have passion for something. I mean, honestly, you guys, you've probably heard of it a lot, but if you're really in the point of like wanting to become a leader of leaders, Build to Last by Keith Callahan, who's a coach himself, is awesome. I've read it 3 times.
No, yeah, Keith's crossline I've spoke with Keith at a few events. Guy's friggin' brilliant, and that's a really good book. I'm sure you read 10X then, right? Grant Cardone's 10X. You know, and it's funny how some people just don't get the mindset. I get exactly what you're talking about. Like, when he talks about like the examples that I give from that book, like when he's like, well, it's your fault that your meat spoiled in your freezer, because, there was that storm and the power went out and it stayed out for 8 days, and that's a possibility. So you didn't buy a generator, so it's your fault, and so that's a weird way for some people to look at things. But if you don't have a fault in it, then you are powerless, right? So like if you either be like, okay, what could I have done to change this? Or you're just like, well, that was going to happen no matter what. And I would so rather look at something and be like, okay, what could I have done so this didn't happen? Or what could I have done to change this, instead of just throw up my hands and be like, who knows? You know, that was going to happen. I have nothing. So there's a couple new questions here in the chat. Do you have a particular daily tracker that you use, or you just use the business activity tracker?
Yeah, I'll answer that. And the one thing you said, Chris, resonated with me. Like, I subscribe to Darren Hardy. He does Darren Daily, like 5-minute mentor things. I get them texted to me. I've been doing it for like four or 5 years now. And the one thing that he said to me, or not to me, but he's one of my mentors, he doesn't know yet. He said, the day you become an adult is the day you accept full responsibility for your life. And for so many years, I'm like, I'm going to be mediocre when it comes to my finances. I'm going to be paycheck to paycheck. I'm going to climb the corporate ladder because that's the only thing that I saw with my parent, but she also was paycheck to paycheck. So like for me, it was finally letting go of like, it's not because of how I grew up. It's not because of where I'm from or what I did. Like, if it is to be, it's up to me. And I can't, and it's honestly peaceful because I can't control my team. Again, I lost a diamond coach in June. I popped 2 new diamonds in August because I kept the faith and I knew there was nothing I could have done or done better. Like, this is my journey. So anyways, Shayla, I just use the Success Club tracker and it's really complicated. You want to hear what I do? I flip it over on the back. I think the newer ones might have something, but they've got the lines on the back. I write down the date because every night our team checks in, and in October we're doing a fun team points challenge. But I write Fit Club, challenge group, Fit Club, same thing. Fit Club, coach, and connect. And then I use tally marks for the amount of people that I have invited to Fit Club, invited to the business opportunity, and simply connected with for the first time. And that way I know that I have done what I need to do for my goals. I do use teamzy.com. I don't recommend it because you have to pay for it. And I honestly don't think you need to pay for a tracking system. But Teamzy is where I log current customers and coaches that I need to check in with. You could just as easily write down your customers' names on a piece of notebook paper and check in with them every day. And if there's one thing that I, again, could share with you guys, it's check in with your team and your customers daily. Let them tell you they don't need you to message them every day. But I can tell you that the more you lean into helping them and their journey, you should know their program. You should be giving them your favorite Shakeology recipes. Treat every coach as a challenger until they show you that they want to be more. You will have more loyal customers. You'll have very easy business conversations with people because they love the product so much. And eventually you won't need to message them every day because they'll be in the group and they'll be one of the ones that are the front runners in your group. So that's what I use. A notebook, paper, and the Success Club tracker. That's it.
That's great stuff too. I mean, I love the quote that you, let me remember what it was, that you're an adult when you start accepting responsibility, you know. And it's funny how the lack of personal responsibility is so much the mindset of people in general these days. It seems like nothing's their fault, right? Nothing is their fault. And it's you know what, I have a question for you. Here's a question that I have for where how do you, because you work your tail off, I can tell that you work your tail off many hours a day and stuff like that. So what do you tell somebody who says to you, man, I want to do what you did. I'm going to, I want to do what you did, but they don't do any of the things that you did, right? I mean, and I know kind of what I say, which is, no, you don't. You know, clearly you don't, because you're not doing it. I didn't watch TV for 2 years. You know, and you're posting that you're on season 2 of Yellowstone and you just started watching yesterday. So, you know, what do you say to those people who, you know, who honestly, you know, frankly talk a big game, but they don't do any of the work?
Yeah. And that used to take up so much of my energy because I would take everything everyone said at face value. And I'd be like, okay, if you're telling me this, awesome, I'm going to have a runner. Like, this is so great. Number one, I don't even have a getting started call with my coach until they've completed my 5 emails of the coach training. So like, you earn my time by taking action. And I set that expectation from the very beginning. And I have coaches that are like, I have a new coach right now and she's really excited and she'll text me and be like, can I call you real quick? And I'm like, an hour later, I'm like, hey, I'm working right now. You can voice text me. So I found like we teach people how to treat us. And if we are, all of a sudden being like, yes, let's jump on a call, let's plan this, like do this, and then they don't do anything, well, you've lost that time that you could have been pouring into your own business. And even now, guys, I'm 90% of my time is my business, my customers, my prospects, new coaches, 10% my team. So I don't know if that specifically answers your question, but I will always be supportive. Like, I'm never going to not respond to someone. I'm always going to be like a kind person, but I'm also going to say, awesome, I'm so excited for this. Could you send me your tracker over the next week? And then let's plan a call after I've seen what you've done for a week so we can really analyze the numbers. By the way, what are your non-negotiable invites every single day that we can talk about next week?
Right. Okay. So, and here's one, here's another one from a team leader standpoint. What do you say to the active coaches who tell you that they want to do, or that actually, I spoke too soon there. That's not what I'm going for. What do you say to somebody when they message you or they show up and they talk about, rocking this business and all of that stuff, and they don't have an active coach account?
Like they're inactive and they want to work.
Like they don't use, they can't afford Shakeology. They don't think that, well, they're inactive for whatever reason, right? I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth. I just need to, and just how do you deal with that? And what would you tell somebody who tells you they want to be successful, but they're not active?
Yeah, if someone's inactive, I mean, I'm just going to be real and be like, the first step of your business is going active. So here are your options. Let's talk about it when you've decided what you want to do. Like, let's get on board. A lot of times my inactive coaches ghost me. So like, it's pulling teeth to get them to respond. But it's also, if it's a money thing, like, again, it's great. Let's have you earn your money to pay for your Shakeology. Track your business for a week. Set your goals, and we're going to meet next week to go over everything. Like, I find like giving people very basic action steps. Like, I'm not one to be your therapist and talk about why this business is or isn't working for you. If you have a goal, awesome. Your goal is Success Club because you're going to make $150 commission. That's going to more than pay for your $99 Shakeology and $15 coach fee. Let's get to it.
Right.
So it's basic action step. Like, the simpler, the better. Like, my new coaches know they get to post once a day and do the coach training. And if they do those 2 things, that's step 1. I used to way overwhelm people in this business, and it's really simple. Just show up and do the work. But it all comes down to Success Club. So I would say, let's make your money to be able to be using products that you're supposedly wanting to promote and help other people with.
Right. Awesome. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Nope. Okay. Well, Ashley, thank you. I got a page and front and back, but I write big and sloppy. I hopefully can read this, but I'm going to, you know what, I'll tell you too. One of the things, it's funny, it's so basic, right? But I mean, being on these calls, it always, I mean, I maybe same for you, but I always I always get reminded by something. Even when I'm teaching on a different call, I'm like, oh yeah, I should totally be doing what I'm telling these people to do. So yeah, the even just being in the inbox for your new people, and knowing what it is that they're doing and stuff like that, because your best coaches, start out, most of them, as your best customers. So that's my 2 things that I got big giant stars next to, that PDSM and that your challengers are key. So thank you so much for being on the call and spending some time with us. And congratulations on Elite. That's fantastic. And hit me up if I can help you with anything else in the future.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys. Chris, thank you again for helping me and for having me on this call tonight. I did drop my Instagram handle, probably the easiest way for you guys to find me because Ashley Howard's kind of popular on Facebook, but message me if you have any follow-up questions. Like I really, really do love this. Like I like helping people uncomplicate this business because for me, I was stuck at 1-star diamond for 3 years. And then this time last year, I decided like, I'm not going to be stuck anymore. And what I did was actually, I did way less. So I stopped trying to control everything. I stopped trying to make my coaches want this. And I simply shared a goal. And this time last year, I said, I want us to go premier. I need one coach because we had 2 diamonds on one leg at that point. One coach that wants to push a diamond with diamonds for me or whatever. I can't speak. And out of all my team, I had one girl say, okay, I'm in, let's go. And we met weekly and she pushed for it and she made it on December 26th. She was actually the diamond who ended up quitting in June. But the funny thing is that's what I needed. I didn't waste my time crying about the 50 coaches that ghosted me about wanting to go diamond. I worked with the one who was working.
Right.
And that really changed everything for me.
Yep. Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you very much. And just see you soon. See you hopefully at a live event at some point in the future. But
Yeah.
all right. All right. Thanks, guys.
I hope to see everyone at an event soon. Thank you again for having me, and message me if you have any follow-up, anything you want to talk about.
All right. Awesome. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.